So the Egyptians, of course, have to bury their dead, and initially they will do so in a form called a mastaba. Now, the mastaba will continue as a typical tomb form through the Old Kingdom, although the pharaohs will move on to their more famous pyramids later on, and we'll see that development. This is a rectangular mud brick or stone structure with the burial chambers underneath. Most of the structure is really fake. It's meant to look almost like a home, and most of it is solid. So there's not much in a mastaba itself. Most of it is underneath, as we'll see. And here's what one would look like today. And these were generally for either individuals or family burials, and they would have a couple of different features. I've got a couple of different images, so hopefully this will be clear. First of all, when you enter into a mastaba, you notice the chamber inside of it is much smaller than the mastaba in general. And that is a chapel. The Egyptians were famous for ancestor worship. So you would come in here. There would be a doorway here. This is a false door that the spirit was thought to come through to enter the chapel and interact with the family. Although this is symbolic, they don't actually expect a ghost or Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson to come through that door. To the side of the chapel, there would be a cutout or niche with what's called a Ka statue. Ka is K-A. And that statue is sort of a heavenly insurance policy. That's so that if something happens to the body and the body decays, the soul can exist within that statue. It's also going to be there for basically a symbol of the deceased that you can see without having to go and look at mummified remains, which would be really awkward. And here we have an airshaft, and we're not sure the purpose for these. There is some thought that airshafts in pyramids and mastabas exist specifically so that the body can get out. So the soul, sorry, not the body, we're not dealing with zombies. So that the soul can get out and travel the rays of the sun up to the other world. Finally, down below, we would have the burial chamber itself, where you would have a mummy or sometimes a daddy buried there, hopefully happily. And usually you would be surrounded with some kind of grave goods, things that would help you in the afterlife, everything from scrolls to wheat, wine, and honey. And this gives you another view of what you might be dealing with as you come into the chapel, and then we have the underground burial chamber beneath with these various blockages. They're always trying to save the body whenever they can, although that's sometimes an issue.